Hey everybody, your friendly math tutor here with the daily SAT challenge, Friday, July 17th, 2026. We got a pretty tough one here. This is an example of a problem that I tell students all the time that I love Desmos. I use Desmos for a lot of problems, but I never want it to be a replacement for like very specific concepts. All right, and you obviously need to know math to be able to use Desmos, know what you're looking for. But at the same time, there are certain things, two in particular, that I'm going to go over here that are very important to know. And this question makes it very difficult to use Desmos. So the first is how we're going to find B. So B is going to be the, or one thing that we're going to use is the x coordinate of the vertex. So one way to find the x coordinate of the vertex is to just do negative b over 2a. So this is a formula that I think is very important to know. And negative b over 2a is negative b over 6. And another way is to use symmetry. So the x-coordinate vertex, if these are equal to each other, if you think about how parabola is symmetric, then the vertex, the x-coordinate vertex is going to be in the middle of those two. So just the average. So the average of negative 7 and 9 is 1, because negative 7 plus 9 is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this right here tells me that b itself is equal to negative 6. All right, so I can find b just by understanding that. And of course, if you want to find the x-coordinate of the vertex and you had an actual function, you could just plug it into Desmos. But for one like this is how I would look at it. Then, if I want to get some information about C, well, if I know I have a positive A and it never intersects the x-axis, actually the positive A I guess doesn't really matter. If a parabola never intersects the x-axis, then we know the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac, is positive. So I know b squared minus 4ac, sorry, I just said positive, I meant negative. Because if it has imaginary solutions or the square root, you're taking the square root of a negative, you're not going to get a real number, so therefore you're not going to get an x-intercept, so it won't cross the x-axis. So b squared is 36. A is 3, so I get minus 12c is less than 0. Throw this on the other side. 36 is less than 12c. So therefore c is greater than 3. So I have really 3 is less than c, which means c has to be bigger than 3. And that's the best we can do here, okay? Well, if I'm starting with negative 6 and I'm adding a number bigger than 3, then the only possible answer is negative 1. Because here I'd be adding 3, and I can't add 3 because c is bigger than 3. And here I'd only be adding 1, and here I'd be taking away 1. So here I'd be adding 5, which is a possible value of c. So the fact that you don't ever get a specific value of c is another reason why I think it's very difficult to use Desmos. Now, what you could do is once you find that b is negative 6, you could graph this parabola and just mess with values of c. Like, again, there is a way. But still, these concepts are very, very important, regardless of if you have access to Desmos or not. All right? Hope that helped.